I'm David Weiss, your board game concierge here at 401 Games. And it's been a while since last saw you. Obviously, I hope you've all been well over the last few months, or at least as well as possible. With all the self-isolation and quarantine and social distancing, a lot of tabletop gaming has migrated online here in Toronto. And most new games are just not available digitally on forums like Tabletop Simulator or Tabletopia or Board Game Arena, just to name a few of those great virtual spaces. But now with things opening up, for better or for worse, we've had a chance to look at some recent releases, and I'm here to tell you about some of them. So starting with this week's game, Scooby-Doo Escape from the Haunted Mansion, published by the OP, or the OP, I don't know how you pronounce it, and designed by Canada's great game design team of Sen-Foong and Cormier, who are the team behind such great games such as Aquatiri, Belfort, Junk Art, and Complex City, which is coming out later this year. As the name implies, this is an escape room, but with a Scooby-Doo theme. So I have to be very careful talking about it that I don't reveal any spoilers. That means I won't be able to show you that much of what's inside, and some of my talk about the gameplay is going to be a bit vague. Still, I think I can tell you enough for you to decide whether this is the game for you. So let's take a look. Scooby-Doo Escape from the Haunted Mansion game is a paragraph-driven, choose-your-own-adventure style game with plenty of neat twists. You start by reading this very short introductory rulebook, mystery manual, read me first. And it explains how to play, and then you divvy up these separate paragraph books among everyone who's playing. You can play with 1 to 5 or more people, really. So there's one for Velma and Shaggy and Daphne and Scoob and Fred. Then there is a face-down pile of map tiles, which you keep face down, and you turn them over and reveal them as the game goes on. I'm going to turn over the first map tile because there won't be any spoilers because it's the first one. And then there is also a face-down and numbered pile of clue cards, which you are then instructed to take out certain numbered clues as the game goes on as well. Finally, there are little stand-up stands for each character, each one a different color, and each one a different number. And that number proves crucial to the system in a way I'll explain in a sec. So, then you start on tile 1, which is the foyer of the Haunted Mansion, where you've stopped, because of course the mystery van broke down. So you'll see that it's labeled there. There's little compass rose to help you place other map tiles as they come out. They're actually cards, they're not tiles. And then there are various objects in the room that you can interact with, each with a 2 or 3 digit number. So, but to interact with them, you have to choose the character that is going to interact with them. So what happens is, if you want Velma to research something, then you will read paragraph 1201 in Velma's book. But if you want Daphne to use something to actually manipulate it in the world, then you would look up paragraph 3401. So the system means that each character interacts with the game in a different way, which gives each character a chance to ferret out clues differently. It's a simple and elegant system which really makes the theme shine. And as the map opens up, there's more and more things to explore and puzzles to solve, which of course means opening these envelopes. which will have manipulable puzzles in them and other components that you use. If you get stuck, there are hint paragraphs that you can look at, keyed to each room. The first two are free, but the third ones and beyond cost you a Scooby snack. You start with a supply of 20, and if you use up all your Scooby snacks, then you lose. And sometimes the game instructs you to eat a Scooby snack if you take a particularly dead end. So the other neat thing is that there are objects in the world. So you'll notice that this door only has a 2-digit code, which means you can't really look up anything with a character because that only gives you 3 digits. You will find objects in the world that have single digits that you then can put an append or prepend to the number to look up that paragraph. So once again, different objects can interact differently, and sometimes you even get to combine objects, but I don't want to give too much away. It's a really cool system, very easy to understand and teach, particularly if one person has read the game and can explain it to everyone else. So personally, I wasn't a big fan of Scooby-Doo growing up. Every episode was basically the same. The mysteries weren't all that mysterious. But I did enjoy playing Scooby-Doo Escape from the Haunted Mansion. It honestly felt like you were playing through an episode of the show and making choices that the characters would have made was rewarded by the game. And Jay and Sen put a lot of effort into the fan service, in the writing, so every stereotypical Scooby moment is in there. And most of all, the puzzles were challenging, which for someone who loves puzzles, such as me, is the key thing for a game like this. You get plenty of play value for your money. It could take anywhere from 2 to 4 hours to play, which, considering the price point, is very reasonable. And although you can only play through this once, the system itself is robust, and if there were a sequel, I would play it. Plus, and this is very important, Scrappy-Doo appears nowhere in the game, which is very important for someone such as myself. So thank you for that, Sen and Jay. I like how the instructions help you put the game away and reset things and put things back in envelopes when you're done with them, so that, you know, when you're done, you don't have to remember what goes where. One warning I would have is that the division of labor between the characters isn't exactly even. So if you have one person playing each character, some people are going to just be busier than others. Although each character does get at least one moment to shine, still some people are just going to be doing more than others. I would recommend that basically anyone can read from any book depending on what idea they have in any moment of the game. My only real criticism of the game with a problem is one of the puzzles late in the game. Again, for spoiler reasons, I can't go into detail, but it's pretty annoying. It's not game-breaking exactly. You can push through it. The puzzle isn't explained terribly well, unlike all the other puzzles in the game. And there are some typos and mistakes in the paragraph instructions and hints, which I hope that they will remedy with a post on BGG and certainly in any future printing of the game. It happens late enough in the game, though, that you can push through it, like I said, and cheat a little bit. Somehow it fell through, I guess, the last stages of copy editing and proofreading. It does spoil the mood a little bit, so as Shaggy would say, like, it's a bit of a bummer, Scoob. But if you can look past that, then Scooby-Doo Escape from the Haunted Mansion is a great buy, even if, like me, you're not a huge fan of the original series or the movies they've made or whatever else. And if you are a fan, then it really is a no-brainer. So this is David Weiss, once again, your board games concierge here at 401 Games. Thanks for watching. See you next time, and ciao.